Hey guys, Giovanna here from giovannacaposa.com and She Rises podcast. And today I want to bring you the topic of the number one thing that is stopping you from getting the love you crave in the relationship that you desire. And that number one thing, my friends, is shame. Yep, pesky shame. I know shame comes up for us in a lot of different ways, but it is the number one thing that I see coming up for the women that I work with. And I'm going to break it down for you because this used to be my thing too, right? And so I have personal experience with this. Many of the women that I work with or that are drawn to do this work, they've already been around the block, right? Like they've maybe done some personal development work. They have success in their business. They're kicking ass, taking names, right? Either in their business or the boardroom. They've achieved so much, right? There's accolades. There's alphabet soup behind your name. But guess what? You can't get this relationship thing figured out. You don't understand why your partner's not behaving the way that you want them to. You don't understand even if you're going to stay in that relationship, or you want to stay, but it's just, you're not feeling it. On the other hand, maybe you're dating and it's dud after dud after dud, and you're not really connecting with that one special person. And you're starting to think, maybe it's me. Maybe it's me. And I'm here to tell you the sad story that yes, it is you, but it's not your fault. It's you because you're the common denominator and because it's always us, right? We are always at the center of our own fixer-upper stories, right? We're always, there's only us, right? There's only us to work on. There's only our perception of the world to work on. So yes, it is you, but it's not you from a place of shame and blame. And this is what I see a lot of women doing, is shaming and blaming themselves as if you should know this stuff. You got everything else figured out. Why didn't you figure this out? And I'm here to tell you that nobody, and this is obvious to some of you, but not to all of you, nobody created a manual. There's no manual out there for how to be successful and happy in relationships. There's a lot of self-help books out there, and those will help you. And if you haven't gone there yet, please do. But there's no real manual and guidance out there unless you seek it out, unless you find it, unless you create it. And it's not out there, meaning it's not up here. We don't come custom installed with that information. In fact, most people have some form of relational trauma. Unless, you came from the Brady Bunch family and your family was totally perfect. Even then, I'm going to venture a bet that you have some form of relational trauma, and that could look like abandonment, neglect, child parenting, some way, scapegoating, some way that as you were learning to relate as a child, you didn't get the greatest example. And it's through no fault of your parents. And for some of you, yes, it's their fault. We'll blame them for now. Okay. But even if you had great parents, right? This isn't about blaming your parents. This is about understanding that we all have some form of relational trauma. And relational trauma is what sets us up for how we relate to other people as we get older. And of course, this goes into your friendship relations. It goes into how you relate to colleagues at the office and, your staff. But it definitely shows up, and it shows up the most powerfully in your interpersonal romantic relationships. And because you can only heal relational trauma in a relationship, guess where this stuff's gonna flare up? There. So there's no shame in that because you didn't do anything wrong. The other part of the shame piece is, well, because I think I should have this figured out, and because I am the common denominator and there must be something wrong with me, then I'm not going to reach out and ask for help. Because if I reach out and ask for help, that's admitting that there's a problem. And that scares the crap out of me. And I'm telling you right now, ladies, and for the few men that are listening, that's the biggest mistake you can make. There is no shame in asking for help. There's no shame in wanting that help and saying, you know what? I have no idea what I'm doing here. I have none. No idea. And getting the help that you need to support you, because it's not just about finding the right guy or gal on that date and just connecting and having this fairy tale romance. Like, that's all fine and dandy for the fairy tales, which, by the way, P.S. is part of what fucked you up to begin with, okay? But It's not about that. It's about what happens after the fairy tale, right? So, many people I'm working with, they're dating, right? They're wondering why they're not connecting with that right person. They're dating, and they think the work's going to stop when we connect them with their, love of their life. That's when the work starts, people. So this is about the understanding and the admission that there's no shame in not knowing what to do. There's no shame in not having this information. And there's certainly no shame in having relational trauma that comes up for you, whether you're dating or in a relationship, because that is actually where the gold is. That's where we could learn. That's where we could grow. That's where we could become who we're meant to be. And P.S., because I bridge success and relationship coaching, I see the women that I work with succeed in their business tenfold when their relationship is working, and vice versa, right? When they're really feeling in their power within their business and they're understanding these pieces of themselves that are either not showing up in their relationship or showing up too much, their relationship starts to thrive. So these things are intertwined and they work together. And the number one thing that is stopping you from having fulfillment in that area is shame. Shame in not asking for help, and shame in thinking that you should have this figured out by now, because you shouldn't and you don't, and that's okay. I know for me, this showed up very personally because I was headstrong focused on my business. It was all that I could eat, sleep, breathe, and talk about. And my personal life was suffering big time. And it wasn't until I was in my mastermind group one day and I literally had a relationship and intimacy coach look at me and say, you are so focused on your business and your success and what you're going to do. You are a woman that so deeply craves relationship, that so deeply craves to love and to be loved, that you neglecting that and continuing to deny that is actually going to keep you separate from what you're passionate about and your success. And when he said that to me, my internal Miss Independent syndrome was like, fuck you, right? I didn't want to listen to that. But immediately it cracked my shell. Immediately I broke down. Immediately it settled so deep into my body that I realized that I had been holding shame for even admitting that I wanted a relationship, because I should be Miss Independent, right? I should be Miss Self-Sufficient. I'm a feminist, God damn it. Like what? I shouldn't want that. So there was even shame on top of the shame, right? So there was shame that I didn't have it figured out and that I messed up so many times in the past that obviously I'm not a relationship person because I keep screwing it up. So there's shame there. There's shame that I didn't figure it out. And then there was shame for even wanting it and desiring it. We are here to be in relationship. We are here to relate. And me denying that of myself or for myself was really, really definitely affecting the outcome for sure. And it was affecting my business as well, right? And me being connected to my passion. So shame is the number one thing. It's standing in your way right now. And it's the thing that I want to release you of. If you're listening to this and this resonates with you and you're thinking, oh my God, this rings a bell, then I give you permission right now to release yourself from this shame. Let it go. Let it go. If you want to take that next step, start digging into relational trauma a little bit. There's amazing resources on my website. If you go to JivonnaCaposa.com and you click on the resources tab, which is in the upper right-hand corner, there's most of the books I recommend to my clients are there. Not all of them because we haven't put them all up there yet, but many of them are. Start looking at some of those. Start getting curious. Start seeing, like, what is this about? What can I learn about myself? Because ultimately it's about you becoming a better you, right? Even when you're in a relationship and you want to fix the relationship, it's not about fixing the relationship. It's about you becoming a better you. And guess what? The relationship being awesome is a happy side effect, right? So if you're curious, go there, have a look at some of those books. If you're even more curious, if you're like, oh my God, this is talking to me, I need to speak with you, then let's get on a call and let's talk. I have an amazing, amazing program that I'm launching. It starts next month. I want to invite you to consider that you don't have to do this alone. You don't have to do this alone anymore. and you can let go of the shame, and you can learn all this stuff, and you could release the past and the relational trauma so that you're better informed and better resourced to be in that relationship that you desire. So if that tweaks your interest, you can go over to the link in my bio and you can check that out. In fact, if you sign up before the end of October, you're gonna get 2 bonus calls. And this is a highly curated group, right? This isn't just whoever has the cash, join. I don't do things like that. This is a highly curated group of amazing, successful women. This time it's only women, guys. I'll be doing one next year for guys. This is a highly curated group of amazing, successful women who are ready to do this work, who are committed to it, and who want to set themselves free in this area. So you're not going to be in a group with just anybody. This is going to be run by me for 8 weeks. If you sign up before the end of October, it's going to be 10 weeks for you because you get 2 bonus calls. And we're going to dive deep into all of this stuff, and we are going to start the deeper healing that is the reason why you're not seeing the external reality that you want to see right now. And everything's going to change. So if you're ready for that, go on over to the link in my bio, click on it, book a call with me. Let's see if you're a fit. And if you're not ready for that, no worries. Go on over to my website and click on the resources link and check out one of those books that's there, because I guarantee you're going to find some juice in one of those books that will propel you. And maybe that's all you need. Maybe that's all you need. And if not, and you want to go deeper, let's check it out. If the group's not for you, you can book a call and we can talk about one-on-one. But please do yourself the favor, release yourself of this shame. There is no shame in not knowing what to do in this area, because guess what? Like I said before, there is no manual, right? There's only the manual that you create. And you can only create that manual when you go through your own journey of personal healing and you heal any attachment injury and you move forward into a future that is resourced and where you're coming from your own power. And that's what I want to help you with. I look forward to it.